Good morning, everybody. My name's Joan Jett, and this is my buddy Scarlett. We want to just give you a little taste of what's coming up later tonight on The Rage. The first time I was in England in 1976, I went to see a show by a band called The Clash, and it was my first experience with real British punk rock, and the first place I saw a couple thousand kids doing what they called pogoing then. So here's The Clash. Should I stay or should I go? This next band and this next video is a band that when they came out, they made a whole lot of racket, and it was one of my favorite bands, and I still love this album to death. I never got to see them play live, but here's the Sex Pistols with Pretty Vacant. The Ramones were one of the first punk rock bands that I got into because they were one of the first too. And I also got a chance to tour with them for 3 months with the Runaways. We did a co-headline tour, and it was just amazing to sit there and stand on stage and watch the Ramones every night and notice that they were always doing downstrokes. There was nothing up and down. Everything was down, everything was fast and so intense. And Joey Ramone is one of the sweetest guys you'd ever want to know, and very interested in people and music, and very gregarious and friendly, and would always have the time for you. So I always loved the Ramones, and this is Sheena is a punk rocker. This is Bug, shingleback lizard. If you notice, both the head and the tail kind of look the same, so look for the side with the eyes if you're gonna kiss it. This next video we're gonna play for you is, to me, one of the seminal rock and roll bands. There's not much more you can say. The Rolling Stones, Jumpin' Jack Flash. The name of this next song is called Ballroom Blitz. It's by The Sweet, and it's one of the songs I learned how to play guitar to when I was a teenager learning how to play. It's music that was called British glam glitter music that a lot of the kids in America didn't have an opportunity to hear. And so here's The Sweet, Ballroom Blitz. This next video is by a band called Bow Wow Wow. Now, Bow Wow Wow's rhythm section used to be Adam and the Ants' rhythm section, and I'm a big fan of lots of toms and bass, sort of a really danceable sound. And when Bow Wow Wow started, I wanted my producer and friend, Kenny Laguna, to work with them. So I talked Kenny into producing Bow Wow Wow, and he wound up producing their biggest hit, which is I Want Candy. So here's Bow Wow Wow and I Want Candy. This next song is by David Bowie, one of my musical heroes. I always loved Bowie because he was not afraid to be outrageous and shock people, and his music was really unbelievable. So this song is called Ziggy Stardust. It's off Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars album, one of my favorites of all time. Hi, I'm Joan Jett. Thank you so much for sticking around with me all night. I hope you had a good time and enjoyed the music that you saw. We're going to leave you now with some of my own clips, myself and the Blackhearts. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Joan Jett from the Blackhearts, and I'm going to be taking over Rage tonight, all night long, and playing you some of my favorite video clips. So please enjoy it. I'm going to be introducing some of these videos with some animal friends of mine, and I think you'll find it interesting. So please stick around and let's have some fun. Iggy Pop and the Stooges was a big influence on me. And when after my first band, the Runaways, broke up, and I started the Blackhearts, Iggy gave us the first national tour that we ever did, so we toured with Iggy in the States. And then later in my career, it was one of this song was one of the songs I wanted to cover, and I covered for many years and still do it sometimes. This is Ziggy and the Stooges, I Want to Be Your Dog. Hi, this is Joan Jett from the Blackhearts, and you're watching Rage. This next band, I think most people know. This is Led Zeppelin. I remember being, you know, in my bedroom listening to these records when I was, you know, 12, 13, 14 years old. And first of all, my parents saying, "What the hell are you listening to? What is this?" And which made me love it even more. But, you know, it was straight up rock and roll, intense stuff. And I remember after the Runaways formed, a couple years after listening to Zeppelin in my room, Robert Plant and Jimmy Page came to see one of our concerts wearing Runaways t-shirts. And so I've been friends with Robert ever since that time, and toured with him. And so I'd like to play Led Zeppelin for you. Here's Communication Breakdown. This next video you're gonna see is by Billy Idol, and I've known Billy since my days in the Runaways, and my drummer in the Blackhearts, Tommy Price, actually played on all of Billy Idol's hits. So here's Billy Idol with Rebel Yell. Hi, this is Joan Jett from the Blackhearts, and this is Rage. The Eagles of Death Metal are a great straight-up rock and roll band, and we did a tour with them a couple years ago, and I just love their music. It's basic, straight up rock and roll. So here's Eagles of Death Metal with I Want You So Hard. This is a blue-tongued lizard, and the blue-tongued lizard is gonna help me introduce this next band to you. Fugazi is I don't even know how to explain them. They are completely outside the box when it comes to running their whole organization. They do it their own way, and I've always admired them for many years. Ian Mackay started a band called Minor Threat in the 80s, and after that band broke up, he formed Fugazi, and they've just always been one of my favorites. They're real. It's always about the music. They like to keep the shows reasonably priced, their CDs reasonably priced, and I always thought that ethic was amazing. So this is off their first album, which was just called Fugazi. This is a song called Suggestion. This is an Olive Python. She's gonna help me introduce this next song. This is a band called La Tigra. With Kathleen Hanna. And Kathleen Hanna used to be in a band called Bikini Kill. I wrote songs with Kathleen, and she had asked me to produce an EP for Bikini Kill. And I just love them because they're straight up punk rock with a very sort of a pro-woman view, sort of, I guess, an updated version of feminism. And it was very empowering, and so this was Kathleen's next band. I know this is very confusing, but this is La Tigra with TKO. I just wanted to point out, in case anyone didn't notice, that I'm sitting here with a platypus somewhere behind me, which is a really amazing looking animal, and this is Barney, the blue-tongued lizard, that they told me I can't face him because he might chew my face off. So this next song we're going to introduce to you, this band has become so huge. They've been big for a long time, but now they've got their own Broadway play. We just did a tour with them about 6 months ago, 8 months ago in Europe. This is Green Day with American Idiot. This next video and band we'd like to play for you is a band from San Antonio, Texas. A great three-piece, all-girl rock band. They're getting a lot of notice in the States now. This is Girl in a Coma. Hi, I'm Joan Jett. Thank you so much for sticking around with me all night. I hope you had a good time and enjoyed the music that you saw. We're going to leave you now with some of my own clips, myself and the Blackhearts. Enjoy, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Joan Jett, and you're watching Rage. Hi, this is Joan Jett from the Blackhearts, and you're watching The Rage, along with my olive python.